Hi everyone, and welcome to Greenmonk's Data Center War Stories, sponsored by Centilla. This week's guest is Maxim Samo, who works for the Swiss financial services company UBS. Maxim, do you want to start off by telling us what you do for UBS and what the kind of size of your data center fleet is?
I run the Swiss and the European operation for UBS. At the moment, we have 5 data centers in Switzerland and 3 outside of Switzerland spread around Europe. The total size or capacity probably being around 6 megawatts.
Okay, and what kind of age is the fleet? Is it like, the last 5 years or 10, or is it it's obviously a variety because you didn't build all 8 in the one go.
Right, it's anywhere between they were built anywhere between 1980 and 2004. There's a couple of colos that are probably even newer than that, yeah.
So if they were built starting in 1980, I assume that this is one of the reasons why you think more in terms of power as opposed to space, because they weren't optimized around power at that time, I'm sure.
Oh, not at all, exactly. They were built with the density of around 300 watts per square meter, or even less, right? I mean, they were mainframe data centers, we did some refurbishments in there, and as a matter of fact, one of those data centers is undergoing a major renovation right now to increase the amount of power that we can put in there.
Power is obviously one of the more pressing issues you guys are running up against, but what are the other kind of issues you have in the data centers in the day-to-day operations?
So the way our data centers are built in Europe, at least within UBS, is that we don't have like big data halls, but we have a number of smaller rooms within the data center building, and in order to be cost effective, we don't have every single network available in all the rooms. We don't have every single storage device and storage network in terms of production storage or test or development storage available in all the rooms. So somehow our constraints are also around that. We have to not only do we have to manage the capacity, but we have to figure out which rooms the servers come in, and then try to get adequate forecasts of how much the business and the developers want to put into what data center rooms, and try to juggle the capacity around that.
We're calling this show the Data Center War Stories. So, have you any interesting problems that you came across in the last number of years and resolved? Any interesting issues that you hit up against?
So, in terms of war stories, I guess we're one thing is we're going to have the interesting issue about switching the electrical network of the data center that is undergoing renovation, and we're currently looking at the options of how we can do that. One option would be that we would that we would put both UPSs into utility bypass, run off the utility, and then switch over the network, where of course you have the risk of a power blip coming through, which takes down your data center. So in order to mitigate that, we're also talking about a full-scale shutdown of the data center, which right now is not being received very well by the people involved. So that's going to be an interesting one. So we had actually very recently we had a very funny case where what we do is we conduct black start tests. Black start test is when you like pull the plug and see what happens, right? So you literally cut off the utility network. Your UPS will carry the power. The diesel generators will start, and you make sure everything works smoothly. The last time we did this test, that was a week ago on the weekend. When the diesel generator started, it created so much smoke that a pedestrian out on the street actually called the fire department, and we had the fire department come in, and a lot of people were panicking and asking, what's going on? We have a fire in the data center? It's like, no, we just tested our diesel generators. That was a very funny instance. I can't really remember a war story in terms of the data center going down. Luckily, that has not happened for a very long time. Absolutely. We did have a partial failure at one point where a pretty big power switch within the switchgear has failed and brought down one side of the power. However, since most of our servers and IT equipment is dual power attached, it did not have any impact on our production.
Great. That's been fantastic. Max, thanks a million for coming on the show.
All right. Thanks, Tom.